For me, I feel like now that I'm able to take a step back, I feel like work-life balance is really important. I feel like the Panda Express, the pandemic really has helped. They gotta pay me for that one, right?
They gotta pay you for that one.
Shit.
Afterpay.
Afterpay, Panda Express, brought to you by Afterpay. Write that down. See, we cash in, we cash out. Afterpay. But yeah, I think for me, I've learned to detach myself from my phone. I'm spending time. My family's here today. Raise your hand. Everyone go.
I love your
Mom is in the front row.
Yeah, so being a queer, gay, plus size, bald Filipino man, to spend time with them, in this world of mine, has really allowed me to see it from their eyes. I have, we saw a Broadway show, I'm seeing it through my team's eyes. And for me, because I'm only able to really read through the comments, the questions, the DMs, the hate, that's a different panel, y'all. But yeah, to really again learn and see beyond a face value who people are, especially in my real life, creating real connections, and that's what I even have adapted to my brand One Size Two.
Awesome. Christelle, how can apps such as Instagram and TikTok become accountable for the concerns that we were recently talking about with the new generation?
Dang, that's a hard-hitting question. Um, that's tough. I don't know how they can be held accountable, but maybe um, something that um, apps and even like beauty companies can do is like do more advocacy about like mental and spiritual and emotional health, so that we can, always tell people like this is all fun and stuff and this is all glam and amazing, but like also are you taking care of yourself inside. So just maybe just pushing a little bit of advocacy towards that.
Well, I was gonna add really quick is that I think TikTok had brought creators together pre-pandemic, and even like this, I think going back to the previous question, like bringing people together really allows us to really pay attention beyond our phone. No one's on their phone right now, so I think bringing people together, having events eventually, is gonna allow these platforms and these businesses to really create human connection. That's what we've been lacking for so long, and the kids gonna learn because when they go for a job interview, when they go out in the real world, when they apply, an agent told me this: the age you get famous is the age you stay. Real young. So if you can imagine, that's why you see these Disney stars like go crazy. I mean, you have to think about it. They're so comfortable in that world, in that age, and I even learned from Katy Perry when I did her makeup. She just wanted people to be her witness, and that's why her logo is with her mouth and then the eye in her mouth so they could see how she speaks. And I worked with her and she really taught me like you have to really create human connection and really speak and advocate for yourself. But these kids are going to learn. And Katie, she got famous really, really young in her 21, and now in her 30s she's been able to embrace human connection, now having a family. But I feel like kids, through adulting, is going to learn that as well. They got to get a job. This is not going to last forever.
Drew, as a leader in the beauty culture, what are you doing, or what do you think are ways that you can inspire like healthier environments?
I think the first thing is inspiring people to try things. I think that's the key, is just get started, right? So whether it's what we're doing inside of Mac Trend and bringing trends to life so people can see something that might make them do something, create something that they haven't before. I think also in social media, to Patrick's points, allow people to take risks, allow people, give people space, allow people to be seen. And I think the more that brands can put positive things out and help drive those conversations around positivity, whether it's social mission and all of those, I think it's really important. I mean, Patrick knows we have Viva Glam, right? So Viva Glam is a social mission. It's now taken to social media, has raised $500 million for HIV/AIDS. I mean, $500 million. It's like, and so you see these positive messages, and you just hope that young people grasp onto them, and they are. And I think and I think as a brand, we're responsible for helping maintain those great conversations that they can have.
As being a model of color, a black woman. Um, can you talk about some of the pains that you've had in the modeling industry as
Yes, I can. Sorry, guys. Um, Pain. I mean, every industry has pain. As a black woman, it's a space that, most spaces have a history of not having us in there. And I'm studying law, so I'm very political. I'm sorry. But the pain of being a black woman in fashion sometimes is every time I walk in, it's you look like this person and that person. You can start there. You are almost forgotten. Um, it's just a regular day, I guess. But there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of could have beens, would have beens. There's a comparisons. It's an ending, never ending ball. Really, I'll start there. But there's also a lot of good. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of people that had been here before me. I would say the likes of Naomi, Care Benjamin, Deborah Shaw, we love her, Alec Weck, who opened the doors to South Sudanese girls, which we're here and we're dominating and we're doing great. And the pain of a black woman, I can't really explain in a few sentences or a few lines. It's a long one. In fashion specifically, I will just say that it's just comparison is a big thing in our industry. The one tokenism thing is still a thing, very much so. There is work being done. There could always be more work to be done, but yeah, I'll say that, to be honest.
talk about some of your own personal practices, away?
Spiritual practices,
Personal
inner
practices.
child. I like to keep my inner child alive, okay? Keep your inner child alive. And like we just talked about Disney kids, children alive. The age you get famous is the age you stay. And I think you stay there because you feel safe. That's where you stay. You stay there because you feel safe. And with me, I started modeling at 18, I believe. And my career has just now started transcending up. And I feel like I'm at a point where it's like, oh, I'm happy. I'm going to keep this happiness. And I'm going to keep and hold it, really. Keep your inner child alive is what I would say.
I want to spend every Saturday with you.
Everybody does. My practices are very simple. I am very selfish with my time and boundaries. I am the first of 12 children. My mother is 37 years old. Have not had a good uh, upbringing. I was born in a refugee camp. So for me, a lot of my spiritual practices are personal. I like to light candles. I like incenses. I like playing Uno and playing card games, living. If you catch me on set, I'm probably taking a nap. Catching up on my last life's work, to be honest. I meditate every day. I meditate every day. If you see me on set, I'm most likely meditating or sleeping. Reading is very important. Reading is very important. I also have a schedule with my social media. I'm not on social media as much as I should be, to be honest. I have a schedule, a time clock when I tap in, tap out. And that's the thing. You need to know when you need to tap in and tap out.
Absolutely.
Okay? Tap in. You have control, to be honest. Therapy, please. Therapy. Heal those generational traumas. They are above you, beyond you. We're there before you. We'll be there after you. So heal yourself. You can't save everybody. You know, just be good to yourself. I'm good to myself. I'm very good to myself. Maybe too good sometimes. Be good to yourself. Spoil yourself. I don't know. Be happy. Choose to be happy. And if you're not happy, that's okay too. That's okay too.
Speaking of child stars, Patrick Starr, can you talk about some of your fondest memories of beauty as a child?
Um, she's sitting here, my mom, Mama Star. Um, yeah, we would on Sundays behind my dad's back. She'd be like, "Blow dry my hair, really quick," and he's coming back. Stop, you know. So, but now they're both very accepting, and that was such a fond memory doing her nails, putting rollers in, watching Disney princesses transform into something unbelievable. And I'm actually living that ideology too. I'm living in a fairy tale, which is so crazy. So to see, um, have my parents be there and to be a living princess or gay prince in this beauty industry, I'm able to amplify that through social media, and other people find a safe place on my platform through my friends, my family, because they don't have that. And so I think it's really important for everyone here to operate through kindness and share that love for each other and yourself. And that's why I wear red. That's why the brand One Size is red and pink, to represent love in its entirety. And I think that's what we need. And when I started my brand, I said, what can I bring from my DNA into One Size? Makeup is a one size fits all. What can I really um, sell or preach? It's not just makeup. We're personifying a product too. And so, for me being the founder, I wanted everyone to find beauty in themselves. And I remember um, in my earlier days in retail, people would be like, "Oh, I could never wear that. You look so great." I said, "Yes, you can. You're beautiful." 5 minutes in the chair, you would see them sit straighter, sit up. And I've been able to take that to the stage through surprise makeovers, through celebrities. And the visibility has been able to maximize this idea of not just beauty, but through beauty on the inside, that we as the LGBTQ plus community can really speak and engage and be accepted in this world one day. And so that's really where I'm at.
I wanted to go back to the idea of brand messaging and large corporations. Like, where do you think the responsibility is going forward now?
I think the number one thing is tell the truth. So if you are not where you're supposed to be, tell the truth and how you're going to get there. So I think there are lots of things that we look at, and I think that just lead with truth, because people will find it out, and also you just have to live who you actually are. And I think I'm really proud to work at Mac. It's a place that is extremely accepting, is extremely generous, and where we don't get things right, we work to get things right. And so I think everything that we're doing is about truth. And so I think that every brand um, just needs to behave like that.
Um, Going back to our FaceTime conversation, you briefly mentioned about ad campaigns and being a photographer. What are some of your like ethos in like making sure that everyone is seen as beautiful through your lens?
So I, because the industry is becoming so inclusive and has been trying to be more inclusive in the recent years, I get hired a lot for like, we need a woman director, or we need a woman of color to do this, or we need a queer woman of color. Like, I get hired for all that shit, and bring it on. But um, I think it's important that, like, people behind the lens, like the crew, reflect what we're doing. So, like, for instance, did a campaign on like women's underwear. Like, we made sure that the DP was also a woman, so that these women who are in their underwear aren't like just all butt naked for like a dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to make sure it's very important to make sure that the talent feels safe, that they feel reflected in the teams that are working around them. Creating safe environments, thoughtful, meaningful environments, always creates a much better product, I think.
What are some of the ways you think that we can do that?
Well, one thing that I feel that I wish companies did more is actually, like, instead of just hiring me for like a women's campaign, or like an LGBT campaign, invite a creative director to join your team at step one. Because I have done so many projects where it's like, you know, it's like Women's International Day thing, and then it was like a straight white dude that like wrote the creative to it, and there's such a disconnect when that happens. So I would suggest, I would love it if companies hired people of that marginalized group that you're trying to speak to at step one in the ideation process. Bring them into the room, and then staff it.
I think that's such an important thing, and is authorship, and how you allow people to write the stories that we are trying to reflect. And to your point, I could never speak about the Black experience. I could never write the story of that. And so when we go into those places, you have to have the right people. And I'm lucky to have such a diverse team, and then also get to work with the greatest photographers, stylists, etc. But it's like when you bring that mix together, when you put all these genius authors whatever their talent may be, to in that place, they make things that are incredible. But if you direct them and tell them what it is that you want to do, it's a single point of view. And I think, you know, when I look at Mac, that's what I love about it, is it reflects people because it's built by artists. And I think it's magical.
Well, that concludes our talk today. Thank you, Patrick, Owain, Christelle, and Drew. I would like to encourage everyone to visit the New York Fashion Week site, NYFW.com, on demand, videos at this moment, and we'll be streaming this tomorrow, as well as there's additional programming on the site with live stream shows throughout Fashion Week. Thank you.